So with all of these $700 plus phones coming out, I figured now is the best time to do a review on the OnePlus 3. I've put it through enough testing to where I've established some opinions that seem to hold consistent the more I use this $400 budget of a phone. So first thing, it's full metal, and with this change comes the loss of the customizable backplate. Design-wise, it looks like 20% of other smartphones coming out these days, but still, in my opinion, it's an improvement over the OnePlus 2, and a lot better in structural sense than these full glass phones that we're still getting. Around the device, we get the usual deal, but with the addition of a notification slider with 3 positions. All notifications, priority notifications, and silent. I find this useful whenever in meetings or out of the movies, and I could silence my phone without waking the screen. Now, because this is the gold variant, it also has a white front plate, but there is also a graphite color matched with a back plate. I do have some dbrand skins on my phone here to protect the phone from being scratched, and if you guys haven't heard of them, then I'll drop a link to them down below if you guys are interested. The storage is capped at 64GB with no expandable storage or higher capacity models. Instead, they included space for a second SIM card on the SIM tray, which I honestly don't see people using that often. It's popular in China and India, but not here in the States, and I would have opted for a model with a slot for an SD card if I had that choice. My main Android device is usually the Galaxy S7 Edge when I'm not testing other phones, so compared to that, it definitely feels thicker, but that's mostly due to the curved nature of the S7 Edge, as the OnePlus 3 is actually 0.3mm thinner. It is, however, bigger in height and width. The 1080p AMOLED display inherently isn't going to be the sharpest on the market, and it's also not the brightest at only 413 nits compared to the S7 Edge's 855 nits. What that translates to is it's unusable in direct sunlight. The speaker located at the bottom gets really loud and sounds clear, but I still wish manufacturers would just default to a dual stereo setup at this point, but I didn't have any complaints here. In fact, here's a quick audio sample. The capacitive home button actually houses a decent fingerprint reader. It's quick and accurate, and I don't have any complaints here. Internally, it rocks a Snapdragon 820 chip, Adreno 530 GPU, and 6 gigs of RAM. These specs paired with a resource-low operating system makes for a great user experience. It kind of feels like you're using a Nexus with virtually no stutter and a stock look. I actually prefer using this to the Nexus 6P because of the home screen customization. With a long press, you can now change the look of the Google search bar, icon style, home screen grid size, and many others. On the left side of the home screen, you get what's called a shelf, where you can basically add memos, pin frequent contacts, and widgets. I actually prefer this to the Now page on Google's stock launcher, but that's just a personal preference. In terms of battery life, I would get a consistent 4 hours of on-screen time for my usage from the 3000 mAh battery. That, included with their fast charging, or as they call it, dash charging, makes battery life on this phone a non-issue for me. It goes from 0 to 60% in just 30 minutes when using the included 4-amp charger. Usually with budget phones, I expected the camera to be a very noticeable area where it suffers, but I was actually surprised with the balance OnePlus achieved with the camera this year. It's a 16 megapixel Sony sensor that has optical image stabilization and phase detection autofocus. The results are vibrant and crisp without too much over sharpening like on the Galaxy S7. The camera is easy to launch, and if you have gestures turned on, tracing a circle will open up the app, allowing for quick snaps. OnePlus has also kept the interface simple with only what you would need at the moment displayed and everything else tucked away into the settings. In good light, the OnePlus 3 takes solid snaps, however it's quite the opposite in low light conditions, especially if you're rushing to take your shots. The pictures will be blurry as well as very dark. But overall, for a budget phone, I'm really impressed with the camera.
Guy's name is Joshua Bain. There it is, he's using that Marvel thing too.
The OnePlus 3 checks all the boxes in terms of what I look for. Solid build, good camera, smooth performance, and great battery life. It's not groundbreaking in any way, and OnePlus was never about that. They just want to deliver a great phone at a great price, and in my opinion, they've done just that. So if you guys are looking for a phone at around 400 bucks with great performance, you'll definitely want to check this out. But that'll do for my review of the OnePlus 3. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to leave a like to show your support. It does help the channel out a ton. And thank you guys so much for